Good evening. It's Paul from MetalTalk, and I'm talking to the incredible Jules and Dante from Gun. How are you, gentlemen?
I'm great, Paul.
I'm
great. Good.
Thanks
good
for having us, buddy.
Yeah, great.
Ah,
Thanks for chatting with us.
always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Obviously, we're going to get round to the new album in a moment, but it's almost a 40-year history you've had now, isn't it, as a band?
Yeah.
Does it seem
Keep getting reminded of this, isn't it? It's like, oh, you're only 3 years from your 40th year.
Yeah, listen, it's amazing. It's just like amazing. When we first started out, or when I first started out, I didn't think ever think I would be, playing guitars and playing in a band, still with the Gun thing, and being involved in music and music sessions and writing sessions and working with other bands and stuff like that. It's been amazing. It's been an absolute.
Feel very lucky,
Great,
to be able to do this and continue doing this.
Yeah,
and getting out there and writing new music and bringing out albums and stuff like that, and touring and stuff like that. It's
and people are saying, we're like a fine wine. We're getting a lot better the older we are. So it doesn't matter as long as they're out there playing. Then but it's just because we love it. We love it so much. The day the hunger goes, the day we'll just we'll put any old rubbish in there, and then we'll
probably on the wine.
But no, it's been great fun, Paul. It's been great.
Yeah. But as illustrated by the 100 Club gig the other week, there's still this huge passion for you guys, from the audience as well. So, it's a really sort of symbiotic relationship, isn't
it? Yeah.
I
could feel that. I could feel that energy. And could feel that energy off the stage, and I think that comes with the music and speaking in a past interview there, and it's like it takes a bit of bottle to go out there and play new material when it's not even been released yet, and we played, I think we played six songs. Probably, and you kind of, and I could feel it. I could feel the vibe from the audience and taking on these new songs, although some of them obviously were singles and stuff like that. So majority of the fans had kind of heard them, but it was such a good vibe, in the sense that, it's 12. Was it 12 songs we played in total?
12 songs, yeah.
I just felt really good. It felt really should have been a Friday night rather than a Thursday.
Yeah.
That would have made it all.
No, I thought it was a great night. I thought the band, the guys played well. I think Paul, Dante sang well. Rudy, our new guitar player, it was a big deal to him because it's the first time he'd ever played London before. And we were like, oh, the journalists, it's like old school. All the journalists are going to go down and they're going to. But I thought he played really, really well.
Yeah.
Andy played really well. And the new songs, I know there's 6 new songs, but the songs that some bands are like, well, don't know how the people are going to take to them. It's just maybe play 1 or 2, or like, no, play the fucking lot of them. Get the ones that have rehearsed well enough and let them feel it. Let them feel what these songs are about. And I think it worked really, really well. From the first track, that we played Lucky Guy right through. It went really good. Really happy with it. And a great response.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And one of the things, for me, is just how Dante's grown as, as the front man for Gun.
Thanks very much for that.
It's, you've been doing it quite a while now, but you're really,
100%. I think you're right. It's just I have grown to it. I've grown into it, and it's taking time to grow into it. I think from like taking over lead vocals back in 2011, so what is 2014, 13 years of doing it, of being the front man of this band, I should be able to be confident and it's like I was speaking to a German interviewer last week, was that you've been longer with the band now than Mark. I'm like, no, I do feel that.
Yeah.
But there is a certain confidence that I do have, Paul, and I think it's just obviously, and I think the fans have now kind of, that was the only one stumbling block in the back of my head. There was always having that notion of being compared to, but I don't really care about that anymore. And I don't mean that in a bad way or a negative way.
Yeah.
I mean it, and like it's about me. It's about me.
Yeah.
This is the fourth, studio album, fourth proper studio album, new material that we've released under me, and I feel really confident with it. And I think this album is the best I've ever sang, as well.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot for me to say, because I'm my own worst critic when it comes to singing, but I feel really confident. So and that maybe kind of shines through and being able to play it live and stuff like that. But it has taken time. Definitely has taken
But I
time.
also don't think, I don't know who anyone else, it probably could be, but I just can't think of anyone else who could sing those songs.
Yeah.
Other than Dante, because
thanks very much, Jules. That's not
Dante used to
not like
sing,
you'd be that nice.
Dante used to sing a lot of the,
He's biting his lip, Paul. He's biting his lip.
Dante's a lot better singer than what I am, but and I can't. Some of the melodies that I've got the melodies, but he can sing them better. So he would sing the melodies on his. And I'm talking about even away back in the day. I'm talking about even the Swagger day when I come up with the idea and like you go, oh, we'll try this melody, we'll try that melody, and he would sing the melody.
For Mark
to work on.
So
he always, and I think when he did the El Presidente thing, which is a funk rock band, that gave him more confidence to be a frontman, and so we just thought, right, okay, let's, as I said, I don't know anyone else there who can sing it, I just don't know, it's weird, but we're glad to have him.
I was
with gritted teeth.
I was going to say with the El Presidente stuff, I've got the album, and must have boosted your confidence as far as doing that, because it was something different.
For you. What with the El Presidente album?
Yeah.
Well, do you know, Paul? There was, I think it was about 3 or 4 of those songs were originally gun songs. Like 100 Miles an Hour was
a gun song. That was definitely a gun song.
And Keep On Walking was another song, which was off that album. That was definitely a gun song. But we did try it with Mark, but it just kind of never worked out.
He couldn't sing it the way we wanted him to sing it. So we just kind
of. I mean that I was definitely thrown into the deep end as being a singer at that point, because I remember playing. Do you know the venue King Tut's?
Yes, yeah.
Kind of famous, renowned sort of great venue. Anyway, we did. I performed that with just a backing CD, a CD player, and I was just singing live vocal, and I had absolutely rammed. And this is the very early stages of El Presidente. I only had about 8 songs at that point, so I'm singing, in this venue, absolutely rammed with a microphone. Very first ever gig as a frontman. Luckily, you could smoke in those days in the venue. So, being El Presidente, during the solos, when obviously I don't have a solo guitar player on stage, I would just smoke a big cigar. So I would just smoke a big cigar and just lighting a glass of brandy and stuff like that. Trying to utilize the stage. I mean, what do you do when there's a solo?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it was quite nerve-wracking, but I remember somebody from Aberdeen requesting their money back, expecting a full band, but I didn't have a band at that point. We were working and getting a band. But no, that was really daunting. That was a really daunting experience.
It's good. So it was.
Because obviously, Dante, you weren't the first bass player with Gun, were you? You came in up the second year of the band's existence. It must have been great to bring him in, because one of the things that for me that Gun has always felt like is a brotherhood, a family, and it's there's always been that gang feeling with you guys,
Absolutely.
and and everyone who goes to gigs is a gang, like Taking on the World, the first album, that sounded like a mission statement from you guys, it's always been that Glasgow, sort of like come on, let's go for it.
So in the early days, like I remember going to see AC/DC in
If you continue talking, I'm just going to come get myself another can of juice.
I remember going to see AC/DC, Paul, in 1976. I was 13 years of age. And my friend at the time, you know, his brother had taken tonsillitis. So he says, well, do you want to come and see AC/DC? Now, I was more into like Bowie, Slade, you know, the kind of glam stuff at the time, you know, and T-Rex, you know. And I went, yeah, absolutely. A gig. I'd never been to a gig before. And he goes, come check this little guy they're from Australia. They were actually born in Glasgow. You know, they're from Australia, school bag. He's got a school uniform on, his school bag, and he jumps a bit crazy. And they're meant to be amazing sounds. I've written an amazing bit about them. So they're playing the city halls in Glasgow. So yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah, I'll go. And I was up when I saw them. I thought, it's just the weirdest feeling ever. I've never experienced anything like it. Seeing a band for the first time, a school kid, and watching this guy being absolutely mesmerised with this guy up and down the stage and that blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. And then I talked about it for days and days and weeks to my pals in school and all that, and it just, I want to do that. I want to do that. I'd love to do that. I would, you know. I was playing football. I was in S forms with Celtic at the time as a kid, and I just had this devotion of, after seeing that gig, I just wanted to be. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do something like that. You know, play guitar. So eventually got the guitar and everything, and then acoustic guitar and everything else, and you know, learned to play and that drive. I kept on driving. I kept on. Nothing was going to stop me. I just wanted to do it so much, and the bands getting in up and down, making demos, and getting knocked back after knocked back from record company labels, and you know, it's costing us money and costing us, and I didn't care. I still wanted to do it. I still wanted, you know. So eventually the door opens and we get a record deal, you know, with A&M Records, and we're you know, we're signed and we've got, and then we get told, well, if you think that was hard, now you've got to compete with the big boys, you know. And you're like, yeah, you've got a record company behind you, you've got
that's just
publishing and everything else, but
now you've got the beginning.
You're in the charts now. This is
this
is where you've really got to have the drive, and so everything that I had worked for, possibly everything that we could possibly do to achieve what we wanted, was in that Taking on the World album. You know, that's how it all started, and that was all our stories of everything, something to believe in. You know, better days. You know, Taking on the World. You know, all that's what made it work for us. You know, and ever since then, once you've got it, you've got to keep it going, keep it going. You know, and that's how it all we achieved everything at the beginning. You know, and it was just a great wee journey. Well, big journey. You know, But we enjoyed it. It had its ups and downs like everything else, but more ups than downs. You know, so I'm happy with that.
And I always say, for me, you know, first time I saw you guys was opening for the Stones at Wembley, and for me personally, and I've mentioned this to you before, Jools, you guys blew them off the stage.
Oh yeah,
you know, when you first started the band, you know, sort of in '87, if you were told 3 years' time you're going to be opening for the biggest band in the world, it'd be just like
absolutely
unbelievable. So that shows the drive, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, incredible. That was an incredible experience, all that, you know. And I remember when we were halfway through America and getting the phone call, you know, and Dante's tour manager sharing with Dante. He comes in.
Oh, well, in fact, it wasn't a phone, it was a fax machine.
It
was a fax machine. But it was us and another 60 bands that had been put up for the, you know, for the Urban Jungle tour. And And we had been doing that sort of like really small, grimy American tour that you had to do, that you had to kind of, you know, to kind of like do the circuit, you know, and we were halfway through that, and it was just like demoralizing, you know, playing, you know, 10 people, you know, and most of the guys have got their hair all kind of like it's all sort of spruced up with all the hairspray. I mean, I think they spent more money in hairspray than what they did in guitar strings, you know. But I remember waking up and then next to the tour manager, and he's like, you know what? I think you've got the Rolling Stones tour. And I was like, what? No way. All the bands, and like, I couldn't believe it. I think we were somewhere in Dallas. I think we were, and we were, and I always remember, you know, the whole story behind it. That like, because all the other bands that you obviously sent, you know, the Stones had sent out this sort of like, you know, do you call it fax to all the other bands, asking them what they wanted, you know, how much, you know, how much stage time they wanted and stuff like that, what rider they needed, and etc. etc. And I think all the other bands must have came back with a list of all these sort of demands, but we kind of just sent a fax back, Paul, saying we will take whatever you can give us, you know, and that was it. And I'd left it, we'd left it at that. And then fast forward to being on tour with them. And then I remember being in the club with Mick Jagger in Munich, PN Club, this really super trendy, cool, you know, all these beautiful looking guys and girls. And it was like, wow. And we're kind of cordoned off in this special area. And then walks Mick Jagger standing next to me, and he's like, oh my God, I'm going to ask him. And I asked her, I goes like, look, do you mind if I ask you? What is it? He goes, why of all the bands, you know, because I think Susie and the Banshees was like big bands that were like getting off the tour support.
Lenny Kravitz and stuff.
And I goes, why did you pick us? And he goes, you reminded me of us when we first started out. And that's what he said. And I went, oh, and I was like that. I was taken aback by that because I didn't expect that sort of reply.
But they like the album.
And then I said, like, oh, do you mind if I buy you a pint? And that's when he went, and that's all right. It's a free bar. And like, okay, double Jack Daniels. Here we come.
But we were supposed to play 2 nights at the Whiskey a Go-Go, sold out, and it was a Friday and Saturday, and the record company said, well, it was Friday, Saturday, but on a Saturday we had to travel back to Europe to go to Rotterdam football stadium to open up for the Stones. So Friday, Saturday was it, and record labels like, we ain't cancelling the gigs.
You need to honour these 2 shows.
We need to honour these 2 shows. So one gig was fill out all the media. The next gig was the fans and stuff. But we need to do it. We can't. So we did a matinee.
It's 7 o'clock show, and then the next
7 o'clock. 7 till 9, and then from 10 a break, an hour break, 10 till midnight, and then back to the hotel, and then straight to the airport, and then right over to back to Rotterdam. It was incredible. It really was. You know, I'd be dead now if I did that.
Obviously, the Stones have just released one of the best albums I think they've done for years, and Hombres, you know, your new album is incredible, and you know, I really, you know, listening to it today again, it's great. Obviously, you've got a great opener with All Fired Up. Fake Life, I think, is a great song, and do you know, it reminds me, and you have to excuse me if this is a bit of an insult, it's got a little bit of an Oasis-y Blur sort of strutting modernity to it.
It's cool. It's also Blur for me.
You Are What I Need, again, you know, like I said in the review, is very sort of Stonesy, you know, a bit of a Stonesy.
Lenny Kravitz,
yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned AC/DC earlier on, and Wrong to Be Right, for me, is a bit of AC/DC meets Dr. Feelgood. You know,
absolutely.
It's got hard rock, but it's got that R&B, you know, proper R&B, not you know, sort of what's classed as R&B these days.
I think, you know, we've never ever, you know, if we hear something kind of blurry in a song that we think, oh, we really like that part, we'd like to maybe put a bit of that into our song, we'll do it, you know. We're not scared to try it, you know. because we know it works, and we know, and if somebody picks up on it, then great. But you know, it can't just be the same thing all the time.
Yeah,
You know, we're big believers in that, Paul. We just, you know, I hate listening to a record that, right, I've listened to the first track, I've listened to the second track, I've listened to where are we going to the fourth and fifth? And it's like, well, it's not anywhere different from the first one. And then I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to listen to it anymore. But
like I love it to be like a journey. You know, it's a journey, an album. And I like to introduce different textures and different feels to it, you know, and to make it. And so I think it makes it more enjoyable for the listener. Or they go back or they don't just listen to it one time and go, oh, that no, that sounds very samey all the way through. I want it. You know, it's an intentional thing to do, is to make each song quite diverse from each other. There is still a, you know, an overall sort of, you know, sound that encompasses it, you know, and the songwriting, I think, kind of gels it together, you know. But it's nice to have different feels and different moods, different
absolutely,
moods, you know. I think and I think, do you know what? I think also I would say I would go as far as saying that that's probably been like us from day one, Paul. You know, like when you listen to Taking on the World, for example, you know, you've got songs like Shame on You, Money, and then you go to songs like Girls in Love, you know, I Will Be Waiting, you know, The Feeling Within. They're all very different, you know, and I think Gun have always been like that, you know, because I always used to think, why does our sound like that? Why do we? But we've always been like that from day one. And it's a good feel. I like to feel like that.
Yeah, it definitely. Sorry, go on.
But on the Hombres album, we really wanted to make it with big guitars again. We really wanted to make it, you know, big drums, guitars, everything, you know, and really make it rock as much as we can, you know, but still add that little, you know, just that little alternative sound to it, you know. So
yeah, it definitely it sounds like Gun. It's got your distinct DNA in it. But you know, you've got, obviously you've got the backing vocals are great. My favorite track on sort of so far of the album is Falling, and I think, Dante, your vocals at the beginning of that are incredible. That's really, it's sort of outstanding.
Well, see, that's the thing. I know that's what I'm saying, Paul. How comfortable I feel about being able to sing, and that's why I think when I listen to Falling and I listen to that vocal and I think, yes, I don't cringe listening to it. I don't, you know, I really enjoy listening. In fact, I put the volume up and listen to it, you know, and it's something that I rarely do with any songs that I've done in the past, you know, even like, you know, just from the last albums and stuff like that. But that one definitely, along with You Are What I Need. But yeah, I think Falling's my favourite on the album as well, you know, but but it's I feel, don't know, I spent a lot of time working on that vocal.
And it just captures it,
getting it right, because I knew I wanted to get it right. I was so, you know, I'll take as long as it takes until I get this right, because I feel so strongly about it. Because I love the melody of it. I love the chorus of it. I love the way it kind of builds and stuff like that. The structure of it, you know. But yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites as well.
But you've definitely, you know, with Hombres, you've definitely created a great rock song that's got all of your key sort of staple things, you know, anthemic, great songs, big hooks, great performances, big guitar and everything, and it's
so much.
It's
Thanks,
something
Paul.
you're obviously proud of, and I think rightly so.
Yeah, it's just, you know, like I've said to other people who, and I might have even said that to you when I was in London. I think it's an album. I know everybody goes on about, it's our best album. This is our best album. This is for me, like Dante. As I said, I don't think I've heard him sing so well in the studio, you know. But I think it was probably the most enjoyable recording session that we've ever had. I don't know. We just felt everything worked. That fact when was recording it, when we're all sitting recording it, and then listening to it, back. We're like, fuck, this is really cool. This is really. It was like kids again. It was like a way back at the beginning. You know, it's just.
Yeah.
It was just, although it was a bit nervy at the beginning because we'd never been in a big studio and stuff. But it was just something. And every recording session that we did, that we just felt it was pretty magical. You know, it really was. And I think that you can tell that with the playing, and when you hear it back, and you know, there was not very many overdubs on it. It was really right, Jules, go for it. Right, Andy, go. Right, Dante, go. Let's make this fucking sound great. You know, because I think we had the song ideas. We did have the song ideas, but we just wanted to get a performance in the studio, and I just was so happy in the studio recording it with the guys. You know, I thought everyone played.
It's funny.
well, you know?
It's funny
and no pressure. You know, there wasn't like we have our own studio, so there's no pressure for us. Oh, time's money and all that. For time, let's just enjoy it. Let's play it as a band. You know,
I think you know why I think the vocal on Fallen's quite striking is because I did go into the studio initially and attempt the vocal, but I knew beforehand that there was going to be a vocal that I was going to struggle to get right, you know, and no matter how many times I kind of did it and stuff like that. And so I was with Simon, our producer, and we were just it was just the two of us and just going through it. And I'm like, I still don't feel this is right. I still don't feel. And at that point, we were about to go on tour. Just Jules and I, and Jules, we were doing an acoustic tour, and it was like 10 shows in like 9 days, I think it was. So no, that can't be possible. 10 shows in 11 days. And I remember coming back from that tour, and my voice was just like, it was not knackered, but it was just, you could hear there was so much depth to it. And I went, right, okay. And I remember Simon was like, all right, we're starting in the studio right away the next day. And I went, okay, because I take it you don't want to sing Fallen. I goes, do you know what? I think we should give it a shot just to see how it kind of sits with the way my voice is actually sounding, because it's so husky, and it's got some, you know, it's got a bit of life and charisma to it, and you know, and it's quite edgy sounding. I said, he's like, are you sure you want to try? I goes, look, I know the melody inside out, I know the words inside out. Let's just go for it. And then I did it, and that's when it kind of clicked. So maybe we should tour more before we actually go.
That is the best time when you should record. When you can write off a tour because you're shit hot live and you just want to see it, you know.
Probably.
Well, that'll be the next album. But gentlemen, our time has run out. I know.
I know we've got another one to do, Paul. I think
shoot off, but it's been wonderful talking to you.
And it's lovely to chat with you, Paul.
And
amazing talk. Once again, thanks for the amazing review as well from the show. I really appreciate that. But
you know, Gunner are a great band. You deserve all the plaudits you get, and I'm sure when people actually get to hear the new album, they'll absolutely, you know, go nuts over it.
Thanks, man. And listen, when we're down London next or whenever, you know, give us a shout. We'll go for a beer, or you know,
we'll catch up.
Yeah, we'll catch up. That'd be amazing. Definitely.
Okay. Take care, gentlemen. We'll see you on the road soon.
You too.
Thanks very much.
All the best, man.
See you, buddy.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.